Bullshit. They were biased towards probably other people, not towards me. What bias is? What privileges did I get? I want to know. My idea of a win is not always holding a trophy in my hand. My idea of a win is the journey and how you've lived that journey. Rationing की वजह से it made me realize that I can survive on very little food. I was not there to project myself. I was there to just be myself. बहुत सारे लोगों ने मुझे कहा कि आपको ये नहीं करना चाहिए. तो जब लोग मुझे कहते हैं कि आपको नहीं करना चाहिए तो फिर मैं जाके करती हूँ. Hi, this is Pooja Bhatt and you're watching me on Indian Express. Keep watching.
Hi Pooja, welcome to Indian Express, and it was such a big surprise to see you in the show. Tell me what made you take it up?
I think what made me take up the offer of Bigg Boss OTT 2 was I asked myself, I said, what do I have to lose by doing this? And the answer was everything. So I think that was good enough reason to do it. Because I think I like to take on things that will either make me sink or soar. And also बहुत सारे लोगों ने मुझे कहा कि आपको ये नहीं करना चाहिए. तो जब लोग मुझे कहते हैं कि आपको नहीं करना चाहिए तो फिर मैं जाके करती हूँ. तो मैं बिग बॉस का एक बहुत बड़ी फ़ैन रह चुकी हूँ. मैंने मतलब पहले आई थिंक 6-7 सीजन्स एविडली वॉच किया था. एंड मेरे भाई भी आए हैं इस शो पे. सनी लियोनी की कास्टिंग मैंने बिग बॉस के थ्रू की. तो इस घर ने मुझे मेरे अंदर आने से पहले बहुत कुछ दिया है. जब ये मौका आया, फ्रैंकली आई वॉज इन टू माइंड्स. बट I'm so glad I did it because I think I walked in with an open mind, an open heart, not too many preconceived notions. But I've come out with my head held high, and I think that I've kept my spine and my heart overflowing, and I think that that's a win.
A lot of your fans, Pooja, feel that you deserve to win, but they felt that you were a little easy going towards the other contestant. You were like, ye jeet sakte hai. Why was that competitive spirit not there in you?
Because I think that the generation today perhaps has this blind ambition, which is win at any cost. And my idea of a win is very different. My idea of a win is not always holding a trophy in my hand. My idea of a win is the journey and how you've lived that journey. So I think that at the end of the day, I was not somebody who came alive only for a task. I was somebody who kept that energy level in between the tasks, doing boring things like cleaning bathrooms and making sure the kitchen was clean and settling cushions and whatever it might be. Because for me, that was not a set. For me, that was my home. It was my temple for 8 weeks. It sheltered me. It gave me the opportunity to spend a lot of time with myself. And it's a myth कि आपको वहाँ पे time नहीं मिलता है. You can get your time to yourself. You can enjoy your silences. Rationing की वजह से it made me realize that I can survive on very little food. I can live without my comfort zone. Social media detox, detox from phones in that sense, and to be away from your comfort zone. Because see, I'm a single woman and I live alone. I live with 4 Zen masters in the shape of 4 cats, and they're very wise company. So I had to put my intellect on the back burner occasionally. But it was just fun to be in a situation where you deconstruct yourself. It was fun to be uncomfortable. It was very humbling to be vulnerable. And every day when I put my head on the pillow and I went to sleep, I would wake up the next morning and say, I've survived one more day. Aur main giri nahi. At least not in my own eyes. You know, and I think that's the win. So I think that for me, that's the journey is the win. The fact that I made it to the top 5, not only by myself, but by beating my 2 contestants, both the boys, whose combined age is less than mine, 24, 26, I'm 51, and where I had to use my brain, where they had to use the physical prowess, they won. When it came to the brain, I won, baby. And I think me and Devika made it into the final week on our terms, and I think that for us, that was the win. It was the finale in that sense, you know.
And Pooja, of course, you've always been honest about your life, but to speak about your personal life, your personal crisis, the struggles that you faced on national television in front of so many cameras, like, was there ever a thought that, okay, I'm just being myself, speaking my heart out to my audiences?
See, I was never speaking in that. See, a lot of people would talk to the camera a lot. I didn't do that because I think that I was not there to project myself. I was there to just be myself. And if myself was not good enough for India, then that's the price I was willing to pay. But I can't become somebody else to please people out there. I was not playing to some gallery. Even when I shared my life, I shared it with someone to give them an example, to explain to them why I am behaving in that certain way. It wasn't that you're coming there to reveal some things. Like, for example, there were contestants who came saying that I have to prove to people, and they didn't last because then the agenda was different. You can't play the victim card. So I think that I was obviously aware that everything would be dissected, because I think that I had a little bit more experience than most with regards to how the media plays out. But I think the media has always been very fair with me. And I think that when you are honest, and when it's coming from a place that is not trying to impress, that gets communicated. So this is what I am, and I think when you're a role model, it doesn't mean that you have to only show your best side. You have to show your vulnerabilities, you have to show your weaknesses, you have to show your scars. Because then people look at you and say, hey, I've been there. And if she could pull through this, so can I. And we're human after all, yeah. So I'm not invincible, I came in there, I had my own share of issues. I'm 51, I was kind of coping with some physiological things, but part of life. And I'm just glad that I had the grit and determination to pull through. Because beyond the tasks and the games and the emotional kind of whatever, it's physically a tough game. And I went through it. I did my 120 squats every day. I did my deft lifts, and I'm here.
And of course, Mahesh ji was very emotional when he came for the family week, and even in the finale. What was his first words to you when you came out of the house?
I think that today I was very moved when I saw those clippings of everybody's family, I think. And when he said to me that he's very proud of me, Sony's clip moved me a lot. Vikram, my friend Deepak Tijori, who's been in the house, and he was one of the few people who told me, you must go. And I was like, but why are you asking me to go? He said, you just go. But more than that, I was most moved by Bigg Boss's voice that boomed from the heavens and said, आपके पिताजी ने कहा कि he's very proud of you, but I want to say कि Bigg Boss is very proud of you.
Yeah.
And that really hit me really hard, because I think that it was very generous, it was very kind, and Salman saying that this will be known as the season of Pooja Bhatt, I think was extremely generous, and for me it was just a fascinating journey.
Yeah.
And for me it's all about experiences. Life is about experiences. When I look back on my life, I'm even amazed that I made it to 51 with my soul intact in this business. It's not an easy feat. But I think that if I regret things, I regret what I have not done, not what I've done.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad I took this up, because you can't understand it until you're there. You have to be in that space. You have to be in that situation to understand. When it's all very exhilarating in the beginning, but then the mundaneness hits you, and you get a little overwhelmed, no matter who you are. And everyone at some point asks themselves that, have you made the right decision? But then to kind of go through that uncertainty is the challenge. So it's a great way to get to know yourself more.
Pooja, tell me, of course, a section of the audience felt that Bigg Boss and Salman was a little biased towards you.
Yeah,
what do you
bullshit.
have to say?
They were biased towards probably other people, not towards me. What bias is? What privileges did I get? I want to know.
Like during the task that you said no, during the Kichad wala task, and Bigg Boss didn't tell you, and then Salman.
Because I fulfilled. No, but I was asked a question, and I think I spoke a little extra that day, and I blasted everyone. But I was very clear who I wanted to put the Kichad on.
Yeah.
It was Jia, because I did not like the fact that she plays musical chairs with her relationships. But I was not comfortable with the act of putting even Multani Mitti or Kichad on Jia. I didn't do that even when she was on that chair. When we had the chance to take her captaincy away, because I'm not saying I'm some sant, but I'm uncomfortable with causing physical discomfort to anybody. It's not something that comes to me naturally. So some people will say, but speaking is harsher, and maybe my truth is harsher, and I think that was enough. What I said was enough. So I was willing to pay the price. That's why I said if I'm thrown out for this, I'll be thrown out for this. So it was the action that bothered me, but I completed my task technically. in that sense.
Of course, now a lot more younger audience has become fan of Pooja Bhatt.
Thanks to the OTT stars, right? That's what I said. I said I'm here to cannibalize all their audiences very smartly
Yeah.
and suddenly be relevant to a whole new generation that perhaps needs to kind of go back to history and kind of, discover who the truly cool chicks were back in the time.
But Pooja, like, what next after?
That's what I told Manisha. She said, अब now flirt. So I said, Manisha, ये flirting जो है ना ये नहीं ये बहुत पुरानी चीज़ है. I said हम सब ने बहुत किया है. I said and the ones who actually want to take things forward don't talk about it much. They just do it quietly.
What next, Pooja? Where do we get to see you soon after this?
On OTT. I've done 2 shows. I can't really talk about it, but I did 2 shows back to back, and they're both very powerful roles. So I'll be back soon.
And fans are also hoping that Bigg Boss 17 we get to see Pooja Bhatt back on the show.
ज्ञान काफी नहीं हो गया क्या आपके लिए? But I'm very proud of my hashtag ज्ञान girl.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good hashtag. So if you're not sick of me and neither is the Big Boss outfit, then maybe I'll be masochistic enough to consider it. I am a bit of a masochist, but no, I think now let me just go spend time with my cats.
Yeah.
Go back to my little gaon, hang with my local people and enjoy my reality for a bit.
And lastly, Pooja, of course, there's a lot of self-discovery that happens in Bigg Boss. One thing about yourself that you actually found out about yourself on the show.
I'm a tough chick. And I can survive without basic trappings and comforts, and that I'm not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. If I give my word, if I'm committed to something, I'll do it my way, but I'll pull through. So I learned that about myself.